Hello and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. We are continuing our playthrough here and attempting to get a steam cargo rocket up into space, which is still under construction. But I did notice that there was no oxygen in any of these suits, so nothing was able to be built. And investigating that a little bit, it turns out I made a little boo-boo. This oxygen is not flowing up here anymore at all. And then looking into why that is the case, I made the common error that I make all the time. I connected the pipe to an outflow instead of an inflow. So it's trying to push air out this way, which is causing it to not be able to come up and into the suits. So because there's no oxygen in there, it's kind of a catch-22 where I can't get oxygen in here unless I like break this pipe, and I'm probably gonna have to do that like right there. And I'm gonna set that to priority like immediate, and I'm going to disable this building temporarily, and that should be enough to get the suits kind of back up and running here. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with that, and hopefully we can fix my little boo-boo there and get this back up and running. There we go. So now we have oxygen flowing once again into the suits. Ooh, I probably should re-enable this building so that this dupe doesn't do anything foolish. Which, you know, looks like they're just gonna do anyway. I don't know what this one's doing. Really? You went into the spaceship to go to the bathroom. That is just silly. Okay, so this should be re-enabled. We should be at least a little bit back on track with getting some oxygen into these suits. So we should start seeing some of these repairs and things happening here. That's disconnected now. So hopefully that means we can get this back in. So oxygen can once again start being pumped up into here. So I don't foresee, hopefully, any more problems with that. We do have some idle dupes. I'm not exactly sure where they're at or what they're doing. Harold is churning out databanks as intended. But more importantly, this stuff should start being built more frequently now that they can actually get out here and start building this stuff. So yeah, this nose cone is almost done. I'm not really sure what the point of this rocket is going to be. It looks like it's height 14 of 16, and anything worth adding is probably going to add more height than what would actually be beneficial. I want to say I think I was going to try taking off the solar panel and just using the battery and trying to sneak in a like a rover module or something. So, or trailblazer module. I'll have to see how exactly that goes, but we'll see. I wonder if there's a trailblazer module, do I need the spacefarer module? That might be a thing. So let me go ahead and remove it. I do realize I could have totally watched some guide on this and figured that out, but no, I'm not going to. So let's go ahead and add a Trailblazer module and see if that makes a little more sense. Probably does. Yeah, there we go. So I think, what can we do here? Trailblazer. Can hold one duplicant traveler. Okay. So we could probably make this work. If we get this nose cone built, it looks like it does give us the ability to We're at least seeing the smoke coming off of it here, so I assume that's launchable. Well, let's wait for this to get constructed, and we'll see if we can successfully take off or not. Oh, it says a rocket must have a spacefarer module, so maybe not. Maybe that won't work. I was kind of hoping it would just work. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. Food seems to be relatively stable, not perfect, but holding out okay. The downside of deleting that module is now I have to rebuild everything that's on the inside. So that kind of stinks. Oh, hey, look, we got a smog slug. I actually seen these in game yet. That's pretty cool. They are a lot more resource intensive than they used to be, so I don't know how I quite feel about them, but at least I think we have this this working out okay overall. Everything seems to be growing and well, we have no food right at the minute, but at least everything is up and running and growing. So longer term, this should be okay on this planetoid. We do have plenty of water starting to build up in here because it's getting siphoned from our other planetoid over to here. So with any luck, this will all be okay. I would like to get to a point where I can get rid of these bog buckets up here. Our oxygen is actually looking pretty decent over on this planetoid. So this building this here seems to have made a pretty decent difference, although it is kind of stopping production because there's backup of resources, because we're not doing anything that's consuming a lot of power at the moment. So eventually I'm either going to have to set this to just run all the time, or I don't know, do something where it's going to make sense and continually produce oxygen, because there's really not much of a point in periodically producing oxygen. There's always a need for it. So let's hop back over here. There is some starvation going on, probably on this planetoid. I was hoping we'd get enough bog bucket up and running, but I don't think we're going to get enough in the cycles that we have available. So I think we need to make another kind of emergency delivery here of some food, just to get through until the bog buckets start consistently growing again. So let's go ahead and get that done. Hopefully somebody comes here. Oh, the little radiation action going on there. Hopefully somebody starts bringing some of this food over here. That's the whole point of the yellow alert, is making sure we're getting barbecue and stuffed berries. Do we have barbecue? We do. We have a lot of barbecue. Well, I'm not really sure why nobody is prioritizing the task I have set as highest priority right now, but I guess that's kind of where we're at the moment. Hopefully nobody on the other planetoid starves while we're waiting for somebody to actually bring food over here. Oh, haha, it's my own fault. I didn't check the box for manual use. The consequences of my own actions. Now they should start bringing it over there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got some food getting delivered over there. Should be enough to carry them through. I'll go ahead and uncheck that box. Change this back to priority 9. Should be plenty of food, at least for the time being. I am to the point, I think, where... How is this as far as getting built out? We don't have a destination set, and it's not fueled, which makes sense. Okay, so this is pretty much built out at this point. Let's go ahead and slap some food in here. Get some barbecue and some stuffed berries. Set this to priority 9. All right. And now I think we are to the point where we can try to generate some steam here. So I think this is probably going to break, but I'm hoping I might be able to do something with it. Let's go ahead and copy these settings to here. But I do want this to be steam instead of carbon dioxide. So filtered gas. So this should pump out carbon dioxide, and steam should be the resulting gas that gets absorbed. So to that end, let's go ahead and get this ladder down as low as we possibly can get it. And I do want to go back there and change the priority. Do I want any of this? Ranching could be useful. Science is always good. These are actually some fairly decent dupes. So I might want to take one of them. Let's go ahead and take a little time to look at our current duplicant skills. We haven't put a lot. There's a lot of points hanging around here that haven't been put into anything, but I have to balance the morale need as well. So let's look at what we have available. It looks like we have 3 researchers, so I don't think there's an immediate need to get somebody for that. How are we on? Hey, you can do some digging. You like rocket pilotry as well. Marie, what is your role? You're a chef. We have 2 chefs already. I don't really think we need another one, which is probably why I haven't bothered to put any points in you. But we probably should. Who are we short on? Let's go ahead and change your hat. We actually don't have that many people with the ability to dig large, things. Like super duper hard digging or hazmat digging. So I might want to invest in that. Although there's really not that much to dig anymore. We have 2 of them. I guess that's not the end of the world. We're going to be doing a lot more rocket travel, so it's probably good to have a couple rocketeers. Looks like we only have 2. We have Stinky and Harold. So maybe some investment could go into there. All right. Over on this planetoid, your specialty is farming, so we should probably put some effort into that. So we could have a couple critter ranchers over here. There's no science person over here, but there doesn't need to be. We don't have anybody who is... I mean, you can go ahead. We can improve your capabilities. So you can be a demolition man. But who else do we need on this planetoid? I mean, like, a rancher could be good, or somebody who just tidies, but it's not really that... There's not really that many tasks to do. So I'm not really sure if it's even worth doing any of that. The husbandry's nice. I should probably at some point get some form of ranching up and running here for the sake of food. Because that is at least a relatively sustainable food source. But the people who are in charge of farming are also capable of ranching. So I think, I don't know. I really don't know. Because this side's already struggling with food. I'm not sure I want to burden them with another duplicant. But I guess for now, I'll go ahead and choose the rancher. And maybe at some point I'll get actual ranching up and running here somewhere. This whole base is just a giant mess. I built way too many ladders and everything's kind of all over the place. So I do have to kind of clean that up as well. But yeah, maybe we can get some proper ranching up and running at some point. In the meantime, they can just kind of build skills by running around and doing silly stuff. We have plenty of, speaking of ranching, we have plenty of hatchlings that will be converted into meat over here. I kind of wish we'd get some shovels, and I'd build like a shovel trap up here and get some real meat coming out of there. But alas, we are not to that point yet. Okay, are we down here? We did dig. I do want to set this as like priority 9. Get this all dug out. And I will be very curious once we get through this, how, like, the second I dig this out, how this water reacts and how the steam gets pumped out. So we'll see that pretty soon. I see damage overheated. That's this smart battery, which means this is not even functionally working. I don't want to repair this. I don't know why it's so hot. Like, why it's 800 or 280 degrees when everything else around it is nowhere close to that. None of the tiles it's touching, the power cables it's touching, the pipe, the gas pipe, none of it's even close to that. This is full and overheating, so we probably should, well, not overheating, but it's backed up, so we probably should, where we can, extend this out a little bit, just so we have a better longer term capture situation going on. Let's go ahead and connect this. Actually, I probably should go back here and then across like this. Yeah, let's cancel this. That way it's kind of independently connecting there. And then we can tap into here and then get rid of this. And then that way it's going through all 6, and then I can connect the output pipes for down the road. So we do need to get this kind of refilled with liquid. Salt water is fine. And then I need to kind of dig back in here so that I can get in there and rip that out and replace it, or do something. I don't really want to break the vacuum if I don't have to. So let's go ahead and get back down here. We're seeing some steam starting to come up here. Huh. So is anything routing up here yet? Not that I see. Okay, well, it's priority 9, so I'm hoping there's a little more effort put on that. We have plenty of salt. We are starting to run a little low on water here, so I'm gonna have to figure out how we're gonna manage that once the water's run out. I think we'll be relatively okay, because this is back to producing for the next 30 cycles. We should start converting some of this brine, to be honest, while we have that. We're not really doing anything with it. Matter of fact, I should just let it all fall down here and get overheated. I actually think I might do that. Let's just deconstruct this and let it all fall out, and then we'll rebuild it up. Now, it's not doing anything right now, so there's no real point in. So what's happening is we're getting all the way down here, and there's some heat being produced, but it's not staying hot enough. It's recondensing as liquid and then dripping back down. So I'm hoping once we get all the way through like this, that the real steam production starts to begin. Yeah, here we are. And now we're getting some proper steam heading up these pipes. When this water comes down. And we should start seeing like just a waterfall pushing down here from all this. Oh man. It did not just come straight down. It is blasting off every edge that it can find, which is a little unfortunate. Oh, and it's turning to ice too. That's pretty interesting. So, yeah, but at least we're getting the steam that we wanted. Let's see how it handles. Yeah, it's just not. This pipe's not like preheated. It's still fairly cold. So as the steam comes through, it's getting cooled down. I think over time, as more and more hot air pipes through, we're going to have to repair it. But as more and more hot air pipes through, it should eventually hit a point where it's hot enough and stays hot enough. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, look at this. Cold damage, cold damage. Yeah, the insulated gas pipe is just too cold. Not enough of it's reaching the rocket, which is really unfortunate. I was hoping this would be the solution, but it is not yet anyway. Where is all the food going? By the way. All right, Harold, you have to come back. But we gotta put you in your suit first. Where is Harold? All right, Harold, get in your suit. Come on back. Now you're not, hopefully not starving to death. Although it looks like everybody might be starving to death soon. And now we have a battery issue going on. So that's not good. We're running out of power. Well, hopefully this steam situation kind of gets resolved. I'm hoping this like hotter steam, see how it's down, it's up to like 300 degrees here. I'm hoping eventually, well, it looks like this is all turning into sand. I'm hoping this kind of makes its way up here and there's like hot steam that starts getting pumped through this pipe. Take a look. It's not quite making it yet. What did we get? Pressurized forging. All right, that's done. I guess let's work on hydrocarbon propulsion. I was really hoping the insulated pipe would do the trick, but it looks like that is not gonna be the case. One potentially good thing, once this all drains out, I should be able to get the last of this polluted water out of here. And it'll just be salt going forward. So at least there's that. I don't know where all the food is going. Certainly not making its way over here. Looks like these bog buckets are coming along fairly nicely overall, but for some reason there is some water mix-up. How did regular water make its way into here? I am not sure. Well, that's not good. Let's go ahead and we're gonna have to empty the storage on these so that the regular water gets out of there. There we go. The bog bucket should be back up and running. I'm gonna have to Probably do that a couple times because there's still little bits of water trapped in here. It's a little concerning. I'm not exactly sure why that's happening or where that water came from. Oh, I know where it came from. Silly. It's from the steam. From the steam here. It broke the pipes open, dripped down into here, and then got pumped out. That's a little unfortunate. Well, hopefully we at least get these pipes repaired at some point, and the stuff will start getting, the steam will start getting pumped up again with any luck. Yeah, there's the broken pipe right there. So how is this steam doing? Not great. It looks like this closed back up. Let's go ahead and try to dig that out again just to get it completely opened up. I don't know how we're... I mean, I assume at some point the magma will solidify and get consumed, but if we ever want to get down there to get all this stuff that keeps falling out of solution here, that is going to be quite problematic. Oh, and now the gas vent is covered because all this water falling down here, so maybe this was not the best route to go, but, you know, hey, it was worth a shot. I wasn't sure if it was going to work. I thought it'd be kind of a simple way to shunt in a bunch of heat and generate it into steam right away, but apparently that idea did not pan out the best. So, I don't know, maybe in the long run it'll work, but at least right now it is not playing out as intended. Which is unfortunate because I was hoping to get a steam rocket up into space by now. Well, let's go ahead and try to mop up some of this stuff here. Looks like this is up and running again, which is good. Let's get all this salt water mopped up. And then once this polluted water gets all completely mopped out of here, I will go ahead and close this back up and start the recapturing process. Although some of this is from, you know, the ice melting over here. So I think at this point all the ice that was overhead, well, maybe not all of it because there's still some right here, but most of the ice that was overhead is melted and shouldn't drip down. Like, even if this melts, it shouldn't drip down into here. So we should have a nice clean pool of brine going forward. All right, so on to our next crisis. Why is our food calories so low? There's got to be a reason for that. And I'm sure part of the reason is just they're eating it all, but yeah, there doesn't need to be this much food in here. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck those for now and get them kind of swept back into the base. I think this is probably where a lot of our calories went, 170,000. So that mystery is at least a little solved for now. All right. Well, I feel like we probably treaded water quite a bit this episode. Didn't really make a ton of progress, but I'm hoping I at least learned something here that will benefit me in the future. I can tell you, just dropping water into magma is not a reliable way to make extremely hot steam that can be pumped into a spaceship. So at least I learned that. Although all this brine is probably going to be converted and hopefully, yeah, I think it's just going to be converted to regular water and then get pumped up into here. So at least we somewhat found a cheap way of cleaning our water. We didn't have to run it through this machine, the water sieve, and use up resources. We just kind of dumped it into magma, and problem kind of solved. Although I do need to make sure that it starts, instead of falling this way and falling down here, that we get it routed over in this direction. So I'll have to kind of figure that one out later. But all right, I think I'm gonna put the cut in here for today. Yeah, I think in the next episode, I'm going to try to focus on building out maybe this planetoid a little bit more, maybe getting a ranch up and running so it can be a little more self-sustainable with the food and not solely rely on the bog buckets. And then over here, I want to try to refine this whole process of getting this up and running. I'm a little perturbed that I have not quite gotten this off the ground yet. So yeah, I think we'll try to do that next episode. So thank you for watching. If you liked the episode, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to see more content in the future, and we will hopefully catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.